Hey everyone, welcome back to Outriders. Now in today's video, I want to go over some of the mods and whatnot that I've actually put into my character creation that allowed me to actually get through some of the CT levels fairly quickly. Now I'm currently at CT 13 and haven't really been pushing ultimately that hard to get to CT 15, as I know that a lot of other players have. And I want to be able to kind of focus on like the middle of the road build so that you guys can kind of copy what I did, especially if you are stuck on some of the lower tiers when it comes to the challenge tiers when you start working on some of the expeditions. So obviously you need to find gear with a mod on it that you guys are really liking and something that you're just going to use. Obviously right here, this is a brand new shotgun that I actually got, and I've been slowly upgrading it. And prior to that, I was actually using this legendary one, which I've actually had for quite some time. And you can see that the mods on there are pretty decent. I love the weapon leech, the healing received, the close range damage that this shotgun could do. However, I could only change one of my mods on it, and that's what I decided to change the Perpetuum Immobile to, so that I can replenish my magazine if I kill an enemy with 35% or less in ammo in my current magazine, and it just refills it for free. That allows me to basically use my twisted ammo or twisted rounds non-stop, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, on this one, I decided to change it up just slightly, and we're going to get into why I decided to actually do this one. Number one is I am actually using two level 3 mods, as you guys can see here on the screen. I'm using the Shadow Comet, which does a ton of damage to any enemy that's killed within a 3.5 meter radius. And it's actually refreshed every 3 seconds. And I'm also using the ultimate bold shrapnel, which critical shots detonate the enemy bones, and turning them into shrapnel that deals over 130,000 damage and inflicts a bleed onto enemies within a 5 meter radius. It's also cooldown is at 3 seconds as well. So those combined actually do a lot of damage, especially when there are enemies in a very close range. And the enemies that aren't necessarily killed in that close range from that comet are typically getting bone meal or bone shrapnel sent out and inflicting bleed. And I'm using other things like the vampire thing or blood potion here. So critical shots towards enemies caused in close range afflicted with bleed increase your health. So I'm regenerating my health for critical shots, but my critical shots are also inflicting a lot of different damage with this shotgun, whether it's going to be the comet or even detonating into bone shrapnel and causing other bleeds. So that's actually pretty nice. I do have a couple other things on here, like thirst for blood. So killing enemies with a weapon while they're afflicted with bleed, it increases my weapon leech by 40%. Now this piece of armor is something that I actually want to replace. I don't want to have the max health, and I don't even want to have the long range. I'm actually looking more for that close range damage and also increasing my max firepower. And I would prefer to actually, instead of having the skills life leech, I would prefer to actually have the weapons life leech on there. So if I can find those three on an armor that I really like, with at least one mod that I really am liking, then this will be the first thing that's actually going to get replaced as soon as possible. Now this one I like because for the most part it has everything that I want. I would prefer not to have the status power on this one. And of course I would love to have a tier 2 mod on the first one versus a tier 1 mod. So if I happen to find something better, then this one will be replaced as well. I really like this one as well, the skills life leech. It definitely helps me out. But specifically, I want to talk about this one for a little bit of time, because if you guys are struggling in some of the higher CT tiers, this one can actually help you guys out quite a bit. And I'm actually going to talk about another one that I actually have had on my character for quite some time, but recently it seems to be a little bit glitched, and we're going to go over that here in just a moment. But we're going to talk about the mitigation from death. So killing enemies while aiming down the sights grants you a lot of armor for 10 seconds, and it actually stacks up to 3 times. So it's nice to actually get that additional armor, so therefore it actually doesn't affect your health. Now this is something that I might change at some point in time, especially when I start unlocking more of those tier 3 mods, and hopefully there's something better that I can go ahead and put on there. But I do like the rejuvenation, so I can receive almost 10,000 firepower, 5,200 anomaly power, 32,000 armor bonus for 8 seconds whenever your health is replenished. And so typically what you're doing with this build anyway is your health is being received, or you're being weapon life leech or whatever it might be. So you're constantly getting health replenished. So you're always getting that additional bonuses for being at a full health bar, which is absolutely amazing. Now the next one that I do have here on is the Vampiric Egg. So killing shots on an enemy afflicted with bleed replenishes my ammo at 50% in my current magazine. So it's nice to actually use that instead of using perpetual mobile like I was using on this one, because this one was really nice, as instantly as soon as I got a kill shot with an enemy that 35% less, it was refilling. But now if I kill something that has bleed on it, that I'll consume and replenish 50% of my ammo in my current magazine. So that is actually pretty nice, considering that I do have a 20 shot clip, or is it 30 shot in my current? Is it 30 or is it 20? It's 30 because I have a 50% boost to my current clips, just so you guys know, in my class tree. The other one here is the Bloodlust. So killing shots increased my firepower, and it can stack 3 times, and then it obviously deteriorates throughout that 10-second period. So it's nice that I can get a boost in that. So when I'm getting a ton of kills very quickly right after each other, using either the shrapnel or even the comet to actually kill them, that I'm actually increasing my firepower, which means that I can kill more people around me, which is absolutely fantastic. So getting a couple of those smaller kills or the weaker enemy kills first, and then focusing on the major NPCs, that actually is helping me out quite a bit. So that's all. This is actually really nice for that. So it's kind of a nice balance between armor and health mods, and also firepower. Again, my combination that I'm looking for as far as my attributes go, I'm looking for that bonus firepower, a cooldown reduction, close range damage, and also weapons life leech. Those are the 3 or 4 that I'm actually specifically trying to focus on. So I'm trying to find a balance between the cooldown reduction, because I do use a lot of my abilities as quickly as I possibly can, and I definitely recommend that you guys are doing the exact same thing as well. It will definitely help you guys out, especially in the higher challenge tiers. And I'm hoping that in the next day or so, I'm actually just going to push forward and actually go ahead and go from the challenge tier 13, which is what I'm currently at, up to that challenge tier 15, and kind of update you guys along the way. Now, the one that I actually am missing, that I was using, that I'm currently no longer using because it feels like it's been bugged out and it's actually not working as intended. And it's going to be this one, which is the emergency stance. So attain golem protective effect for 4 seconds whenever your health drops below 30%, and it can actually be replenished every 10 seconds. However, if you guys are playing as a devastator rule, you guys already have this, so you guys don't need this one. But it wasn't working the way that it should, because it seems like after 10 seconds it would just not be working anymore. So I don't know what was going on, and I think I've actually heard from a few other people that it doesn't seem to be working for them as well. So I decided to actually replace it with my blood potion to see if that can actually help me with my health regeneration versus the emergency stance, and actually getting golem on my character. But if you guys do have any questions about kind of what got me to this point in time, I feel like this is a nice medium of the range or middle of the road kind of build. Let me know in the comments down below. I know I struggled pretty much right away when I got into the expeditions. And then once I kind of figured out how I wanted to put my mods together and make them work together, then I started doing a lot better. And if you guys are looking for maybe other builds that will kind of fit your play style, then by all means leave that down in the comments down below, so that I can create a build that works for you guys as well. But until next time, YouTube, you guys keep doing what you're doing, because you're already doing it, and you guys stay gaming.